So I really love the membership program and have found it incredibly helpful as a grandmother who is extremely involved in the care of my twin grandsons who are almost 9. I just appreciate Susan's advice and I love her philosophy. I think that there are a few ways that it has helped me a lot. One of them is to further my own self-regulation, to have a constant reminder about how important it is to pause, take a deep breath, think things through, and then say things or act it's a lifelong lesson, and I work on it every single day. And it's just been really helpful to have her advice about that. I also really appreciate as a grandparent the fact that her philosophy is very much in alignment with mine. A lot of the things that I did and the way that I was with my own children reflects her advice and her philosophy. And my own children, my daughter and son-in-law, are very different from me in that regard. So for some reason that I don't fully understand, having Susan's advice and support helps me to be who I am. And to feel more confident, but also to stay within a boundary. A grandparent has to kind of hold to a boundary, and I tend to overstep mine. But I think with Susan's support, I've managed to be able to stay in my lane a little bit better. I love when she says, "Oh, full stop is a sentence." These kinds of things are just very, very helpful when dealing with kids, to not offer advice, to not come back with a but just to be able to go, "Oh," and to listen and be empathic and let them have their experience. So that's something that I work on all the time and that I appreciate about Susan. The boys are challenging. Having 2 boys at the same time, I find that there are challenges that I don't remember experiencing with my own kids. So it's been great to have a community and to have constant reminders, and having a place to check in from time to time is terrific. A specific example, the other night, I do Friday night dinners every week, and one of my grandsons has difficulty focusing, and he's just a little bit different. And he got scared. We were sitting at the table and he got frightened about something, and he slipped under the table, which is something that he does. And there have been times in the past where his parents have gotten very upset, and one time they even dragged him out and took him home, and I was so upset about it. I said, "Please don't ever do that ever again at my house." Well, this time he got frightened, he slipped under the table, and I slipped right under with him, and I sat with him with my hand. I didn't think I could hug him at that moment, but I sat with my hand on his arm or his back, I don't remember. And we just sat together, and then I said, "Should we pretend that we're little rocks?" And he said yes. And so I said, "Okay." And then the timer rang, and I said, "Oh, I think our lamb chops might be done. Would you like to pretend that you're a flower?" And he thought about it, and then he said yes. And I said, "Okay, great, I'm gonna be a sunflower." And I hopped out, and he hopped out, and we had this absolutely lovely dinner. And I just don't think I would have approached it in that way if I wasn't doing the membership groups. She makes me feel hopeful, because in hearing of other people's issues with their children, and the solutions and the advice that she gives, I feel comforted, because there are times when I have really worried about my grandchildren and how they'll turn out and what's going on with them. And I find out that we are just sort of one big community with similar problems and similar issues. And that's very reassuring and really helpful. I'm doing homeschooling with them on Mondays and Thursdays, and I was with the little boy who went under the table, and he's very smart, and he likes to do everything perfectly, and it was math class, and I could just see his anxiety building as he did more and more difficult problems. And I didn't say anything at the time, but then we took a break and we went outside, and he was running around, and his twin brother was running around, and then it was his turn to give the scooters to his twin brother. And so I walked over and I said, "Could I sit with you for a minute? There's something I want to say." And he said, "Okay." So I sat and I looked him in the eyes and I said, "You know, I just want you to know that no matter how you do in math, I love you with all my heart and soul. And it doesn't make any difference to me how you do. It matters only in that I want you to be happy, and I want you to be able to do the things and have the things and be the things that you want to be. But my love for you has nothing to do with how well you do. I said, do you know that? And he said, yes. And I said, I mean, if I made a mistake, would you love me less? He said, no, I would love you. He said, I said, wouldn't you still love me? And he said, yes, I would still love you. And then he started laughing. He says, maybe not quite so much. And we just both laughed about it. And it was kind of a fun moment. So I just find the membership program incredibly helpful. And I love it.